Today's tool is creating daily wins. Now, in order for us to do that, we need three things. One, you need a behavior. Two, you need to define the win in that behavior. And then three, we're going to need an anchor for it. So what I want you to do is make a bucket list of a bunch of behaviors, positive behaviors that are going to influence you into making the right choices. Make a big bucket list. I like to take a paper, horizontal, put behaviors in the middle, make a circle, and then draw a bunch of lines out. All of these behaviors. It doesn't matter what it is. These are unique to you. So you need to decide all of the behaviors that you want to work on. Maybe you already have some good behaviors. Put those on that list as well. But I want you to take all the behaviors you want to install into your life. All of the things that make you feel negative. You need to put a behavior on top of that negative feeling so that you can switch that and transmute it into a positive feeling. Okay, so we're going to take all these behaviors. Let's isolate one for yourself. Take that behavior, maybe it could be refine my schedule, right? Eat better. Work on the business, the side hustle that I want to start. Take that behavior. And then what I want you to do is what would define a win for the day for that behavior. Here's an example. I've used it before. Training day. I am wearing all hats for this business currently. Okay? So I have to work on the website. I had to start from scratch. I had to start an S Corp. I had to build a website. I had to get all my social channels in line. I had to define what training day could become in a big picture view. Something that I can visualize and actually see, and tons of more steps, right? But what I had to do is I had to take certain behaviors. I had to take a behavior of I need to dedicate a certain amount of time per day to training day. So I had to block that out into my calendar, and I had to be very disciplined. It doesn't matter what it is. I will not deviate from that time block to work on this mission and this goal and the vision that I have. And then inside that behavior, I blocked out that time, right? So what would be a win? Anything was a win when I started out, anything. I started my S Corp and submitted that, paid for it, and that was the win, and I celebrated that. I was like, yes, this thing's gonna be real, okay? So then you also need the anchor there. So you need something that's an anchor, or you could /put trigger, okay? Maybe you need to set all these different alarms on your phone. I do that with my calendar. From the moment I wake up, from the moment I go to sleep, I have a bunch of notifications at certain times to make sure that I'm in line. So if that goes off, life isn't perfect, but the time frames you can be a little lenient on if for whatever reason you're a little off the ball for the day. But just know you need to understand I need to switch into this gear and I need to switch into this behavior in order for me to know that I'm taking the right steps towards where I want to go. And the most important thing is define little wins, the little wins. It doesn't have to be some monumental thing. And I have chosen massive wins in a short amount of time, and I have fallen flat on my face. And it becomes discouraging because you put so much effort, you put your heart, you put your soul, you put your mental real estate into something for so long, and you try to achieve something that's really out of your reach at that moment, and then you feel like you didn't get anywhere, okay? So take each of these behaviors, decide a little bit of win. So all the ones that you've listed, I want you now to put next to that a little win for that, okay? And then I want you to put next to that, I want you to put a little anchor or a trigger for that. What's something that you can put into your day that's gonna create the trigger, it's gonna make you go towards that behavior, and then that allows you the opportunity and space to create the win. And this thing's gonna be a repeated cycle, and these will consistently evolve depending on where you're at in life, what stage, where you're putting your attention. Are you working, right? Are you doing some personal stuff, right? Whatever this is, are you going towards your art? Whatever it is, you need to do this cycle. Behavior, the win, decide the trigger. Now, the most important thing with this is fucking celebrate. If I could give myself any advice, is to celebrate every single little win, because I've taken those for granted. And I'll look back on anything that I try to create, whether that be training day, music, any type of just whatever, if I'm helping others create on top of their businesses, trying to start a new business, whatever that may be, is I take these little wins for granted. And if you don't associate some type of celebration towards these little wins, you're not going to get that positive feedback, right? And we need that positive feedback because we're trying to create motivation. And the more that I go through this quest, I'm very curious to find all the individuals that will go through this quest, obviously, but really to find like who is that one person that really needs this type of quest the most. And I need this quest the most. I'm on my own. I'm a solopreneur at this point. The goal is not to be that. The goal is to build a fucking badass team eventually, right? But your motivation, you have to figure out what's going to keep me motivated, because there's no one over your shoulder telling you what to do unless you have some mentors, which are very beneficial. But for the most of the time, you're on your own. So how do you cultivate motivation? How do you stir up the inspiration? How do you make your soul come alive every day? This is one tool you can use to keep you motivated, inspired, and at the end of the day, you're going to constantly be evolving, because now you'll look back after you've done iterations of these daily wins, and you can go back and look at the evidence of all the things you keep accomplishing. And maybe you had a list of 50, and these were daily wins, and you started chipping away at those throughout your week, and then maybe your priorities shift and you start creating new wins, and you can look back, go back and document these things, and you're going to be like, holy shit, like look at all the things that I'm accomplishing, and these are the daily wins, and you'll feel it. I can feel it right now. I always get goosebumps when I know I'm on to something really good. I always get them, and this is a moment right now for me. So utilize those daily wins, put them into action, document it, and reflect on them daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. And you will see your perspective, and not only your perspective will shift, but you're going to start seeing results. That's the biggest thing here. We want to see your actions create results, and you will definitely get there through daily wins.